right, welcome back to another episode of Good Times Ahead. I'm your host, Tanner Thompson, and this is my boy, Nick Eustace, on my right. We got two special guests today from my NLL team, the Albany Firewolves. We got Mike Byrne, four-time Big Attaway champion with the Western Mustangs.
No big deal.
No big deal. Nicky went to Western as well. He is a St. Michael's man, like me and Nicky are. And we've become very good friends over the past couple of years. And it's my boy. And then we got Reilly O'Connor, the Georgetown product and Whippy product. He is a two-time captain at Georgetown. Is that right?
Yep.
Two-time captain, and he won 2 Minto Cups, which is like the one of the biggest awards in lacrosse, or the biggest award in lacrosse. So biggest trophy, that is.
Yeah,
so.
well, as someone who hasn't played lacrosse, what is the Minto? Because I would always hear, like, when you were playing Mimico, it was like Road to the Minto or something.
Yeah, so in lacrosse, there's not really like an OHL kind of thing. There's only one league, and it's Junior A, so it's like kind of like the comparable. And you only have five years to win it, right? So it's kind of like the timing thing makes it so hard to win.
It's like the Mem Cup, the Memmer.
So you're a two-time Mem Cup champ?
Yeah, I had some, like, if you look across like the NLL now, I had at least 10 guys on my team, like high-end players in the NLL, still playing. So, and we have like the all-time winningest coach. Like,
oh, that's sick.
And it's guys we grew up with too. So
was this with Georgetown?
This was with Whippy.
Okay.
With the Warriors. Yeah.
So.
You played with your dad was your coach too, right?
My dad was the GM. My dad coached me growing up, and then he was the GM. He still is of the Warriors now.
What was that like? Was he like on your ass more than the other kids? Was he more like?
No, so like it was really a really neat experience because like Derek Keenan was the head coach, and obviously I think my dad kind of just like, and I like we just trusted him, and my dad was just more kind of in the background, just being a dad and that so. Great relationship that way, but pretty neat just to like go through that process with him. Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Whippy? Because Whippy's like one of like the biggest hubs in Ontario for lacrosse, and like I'm a Miracle boy, so I always battled you guys growing up.
Yeah.
We called you guys Shippy for like so long.
Yeah. a lot of rivalries. Like the truth is, I think we won a lot of games, but looking back at it now, and now I'm actually involved in Toronto Beaches, it's like, geez, it wasn't even really fair because we had Whitby, we had Curtis, we had Clarington, we had Oshawa, Ajax, Pickering. We just had such a bigger area than everyone else. So we just had more sheer numbers. I mean, I wasn't complaining back then, but looking back and it's like, geez, we had such a great pool of talent because we had guys from all over. But a lot of guys that we grew up with, like now those minor centers have like got their own teams. So now Whippy's a little more spread out, but back then we had access to everyone, so it was kind of a little cheat code. Was it all lax in Whippy, or was it like hockey guys playing lacrosse as well? No, it was hockey. Like, I think it was like, playing AAA hockey in the winter and then lacrosse every summer. Were you a hockey guy? I was, yeah. I played right through minor midget. Oh, yeah? It's maybe a little bit of a humble brag or a little bit of shot at myself, but there was an article in like the Whippy this week, the paper. Yeah. The title was best thing that ever happened to Reilly O'Connor was not getting drafted in the OHL. And my friends always, because I wasn't very good, like I couldn't fucking cross over one way, and my friends always sent it to me to make fun of me. But oh yeah, big. So I still love hockey, but yeah.
Bernie, you're a hockey guy.
Yeah.
Too,
what about you, Bernie?
Talk about your lacrosse career and how hockey kind of helped you.
Yeah, I was AA lifer pretty much until
gritty
until grade 11 and 12, and I played for the St. Mike's team, and then I played a bit of junior B in London actually. Yeah. So
did you play when you were at Western?
Yeah, but like I think I played like 8 games
with the Nationals.
No, with the Strathroy Rockets.
Oh, you and Munchnick were there.
Yeah,
right?
Strath Vegas or whatever. But no, then I remember the first round we played London. And we were the 8 seed, they were the 1 seed, and the coach comes in and he's like, "Hey, you boys seen what they wrote on the front page of the London Free Press this morning?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, they got us losing 4 Cobb. They got us losing 4 Cobb, and then we ended up losing 4 straight." So, but it was fun. It was really fun while playing out there. But
Nicky had a little bit of a lacrosse couple of years in him too. He was the guy who like couldn't figure out the stick, so whenever he would shoot, it would just go straight into the net above the.
I had a hook. Every
stick.
time I would shoot, it would just go straight down.
Yeah, it was a stringy. It was a bad stick.
I was not a scorer.
You gotta hook him up
on a breakaway. Just Full speed shot right to the ground.
Sorry, I did that the other night in my game.
He's still doing it.
It never changes, yeah.
I was also the only guy on the team who couldn't use their offhand.
Yeah.
Because whenever like lacrosse would finish, I just wouldn't touch my stick.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, you're a hockey guy. You don't need to use lacrosse stick, right?
It was fun though.
What's like the dynamic of hockey players in terms of like what do they think about lacrosse?
I think it's just the same. It's like whenever I think of you guys, it's just tough, like athletic, gritty. Like I love lacrosse. I've said it before. I don't know how it's not more popular. Because you go to a game and it's like everything you want to watch in a sport. It's like high skill, high pace, violent. Like the game we went to, the crowd against Hamilton was fucking unreal. They're serving $5 beers. I was like, if they serve this at the Leafs games, it'd be 10 times better.
Lacrosse is very gritty for that. Like they love their beers. They love like having fun at the games. Like it's more of like a
the atmosphere was sick.
Like, yeah, it's cool, man.
We just had a guy in front of us the whole game, just like clapping on the boards. When you guys would score, when Albany would score, he'd like look up to no one. And you go back to Albany. And we're like, who the fuck is this guy talking to? Like,
Also, no one from Albany.
There's literally not one person from Albany.
we're in Hamilton right now. Like,
That's probably Walnuts came.
Probably Walnuts, yeah. One fan that comes to every game, he sits right on the glass and just everyone knows who he is because his jersey says Walnuts on it. Who is that
this
guy?
an Albany super fan?
Just a super fan. He's there,
He's
like games at 7:30. He's there at 6 p.m. on the glass.
First
banging.
warm up, banging.
It's kind of fun giving the balls to the kids, though, I will say. Like I love that shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's
They
so
love
fun.
it, yeah.
I always feel bad like giving the balls away because we don't have that many.
Then we get shit on because
Everyone's looking at me like, what are you
Walnuts
doing?
might be a bigger celebrity than the guys on the team. He's running the whole section, giving out drinks. So
His name is Walnuts.
His jersey says Walnuts on it. We don't know why. That's his last name or something.
Yeah.
Riley, what was it like going to Georgetown? Pretty big school, man.
yeah, Georgetown was different, right? So different, like not used to that, like really preppy. I loved my time there, made some great like relationships and stuff. I think one big thing, like for me, sure, like you guys growing up, like lacrosse, hockey, whatever it is, like that's our life. And more so at Georgetown, I just thought a lot of guys were like kind of using Georgetown to get to Wall Street, right, or get a sick finance job. Well, there's nothing wrong with, but I was just like, fuck, boy, like let's compete a little bit here. Let's dig in. Let's you know. But overall, like, so cool being able to like use the game to like be in Washington D.C., right by the White House, right by the Washington Monuments. So like a really cool experience overall. As you know, because you came down to play.
I've been there, I've been there a bunch of times.
Yeah.
We're in the Big East together. How many years we play against each other? Was it 2?
Well, I think the first year, I'm just trying to think of, because might have met you, obviously, we're mutual friends with Kyle Whitlow, who's my best friend in high school. He went to Marquette, I went to Georgetown. First year, didn't play. So I would have played against him 3 years. And then I think you came in after that, so 2 years. So
2 years. I remember playing against you.
Yeah.
You're always on the radar for sure.
What?
That little fucking hook plant. I know that was you at all. Yeah, fish hook.
Yeah.
fish hook.
Yeah.
See you from a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, for all you guys, what's the biggest difference growing up playing lacrosse in Canada versus the States? Because just from my perspective, I see like, again, lacrosse growing up here is probably more box, right?
Yes.
And again, like grittier guys, and then there's preppier field lacrosse. Would you say that's true? Or?
Yeah, Riley, you're the lax guru, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let Berno talk. Like, you played in Canada too, but I think the biggest thing is, we still, us Canadians, still go down to the States to play field. But we're basically playing box lacrosse on the field.
Yeah.
Like, we're playing that, maybe not as athletic, maybe not the hardest shot, the strongest, whatever, but kind of smarter, skilled, tougher, get to those kind of dirty areas. But I feel like, I'm sure if we asked every guy here, what do you like better, box or field? I think it's no question box. I know for me it's not even a question, but
It's not a question.
What about you, Bernie?
Yeah, same. No question. I like box way more.
Well, what was it like going from growing up box and then to Western playing field?
I played a bit of field at like St. Mike's and some beaches stuff. So I've always played a bit of both. And I was kind of like a little bit different story than these guys, because I kind of came to box late.
Oh, really?
I kind of wanted to be more of a hockey player. And then, and then that didn't really work out. And I went to Western, and then I didn't even know if I was really going to make the team, to be quite honest with you. And then I made it, and all these guys were playing junior box, like junior A, junior B, junior C, whatever. And they're like, oh, you got to play in the summer. And then I was like missing hockey so much. I'm like, oh, I'm going back and playing. Like, I'm going to try to make it. But so then I went back and played junior B, and then I moved up to junior A. But I just loved it. Like, I just love how fast it is. It's like, it's little, like it's just so chaotic, but it's so controlled at the same time. Like things are moving so fast, but like it's just, I just love it. Yeah.
For you going to Western, you didn't think you were going to play lacrosse?
Well, in grade 12, I was like trying to do the OJ thing, going to rookie camps and stuff. And then I didn't really work out. And then
you grab anyone? You grab anyone in camp?
Oh no. Hockey camp. I know. Jeez, maybe I'd be playing hockey. Had to grab my stones. But anyways, no. But then I went to Western. It was kind of like, okay, I'll go, and if I make the team, great, and if not, I don't. And
it is what it is.
Nice, but I ended up making it. We had a.
You guys had a dynasty there.
Yeah, no, it was good. We had.
What was it about you guys? Was it like how close you were? Like, were you guys just nasty?
I don't know.
Off-field bonding or what?
We had really tight team. Like, it was awesome. But I think we always put it together kind of at the right time too. And I don't know, we had some guys who were just gamers. Like we won like, I think 2 years were both OT games. Like one was double OT. So, it's
gritty.
A little bit of luck, but also like we had some really good teams. So we were lucky that way.
Takes skill to be lucky, man. Were you taking face-offs, Western?
I did.
I have a question after about this.
You know what?
Totally, man,
you know what's funny? So we played an exhibition game, right? And the first game we played the Hill. So I don't know if you were the coach or not.
Probably.
So they had this face-off guy in the Hill who was like, he's like Team Canada face-off guy.
Nasio,
yeah.
First round pick.
So and then they go to us, and I'm a rookie, and they're like, "Does anyone here take face-offs?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." I didn't really I just was trying to get on the field. He probably cooked me. I'm not kidding. I think it was 31 face-offs to nothing. And in that exhibition game, like he was a stud. But then after that game, I don't know what it was, if he subconsciously taught me or something, but I got a little better at it. And that was kind of my way of playing the first year. I was just the face-off guy. And then I kind of took on a bigger role later, but that was the first year I was a face-off guy. And, but it's funny that's kind of a funny story. I almost forgot about that, but I got cooked. Like it was awful.
What about you cooking mango?
Oh, mango. Yeah. Well, so Mango is a guy from St. Mike's too, who was our face-off guy, and he used to. I don't know. It was after playing that guy, I got a bit better, and then like in high school, Mango used to dummy me, and then we kind of went toe to toe. So it was good.
He's a funny guy.
He's so funny.
It's all steamy.
Yeah, I could see Mango. If you're beating him, just getting so cheesed.
Yeah. Oh no, he's funny.
Talking about lacrosse again, I know hockey's like kind of shifting towards like a more of a skill game, right, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
NHL. Where do you think the NLL's going right now?
It's a good question. I think it's like ever changing. It was pretty stuck in its ways, right? Of like kind of similar to hockey, right? Like you gotta have high end guys, but then you've got physical guys, you got fighters, right? Now there's no like every roster spot is a guy that can legitimately play. Right. Right. And I think we've even talked a little bit about this, Tanner, like not like we were pretty higher end players, I would say in junior, major, like big point guys, this and that. When you get to the NLL, you've got to like, unless you're Mark Matthews, Jeff Teat, you've got to adjust and adapt, right. And be, find your role. Like you talked about at Western, Burno, like step up and play whatever is required, whether that's playing more of an inside game and setting picks for some of the different guys. But I think the game's going even faster, right? Even more athletic, and really transitional based, right? From defense to offense fast. Like still got your high-end O guys, but high-end O guys are now playing defense, going out the back door and just staying on the floor.
Yeah.
And like guys that can score the ball in transition, right? I don't know how, like watching your brother play, Tanner, probably one of the best like offensive players, but always also overall, like he played a lot of defense, which shocked me.
Is this Finner?
Finn, yeah, probably one of on the count on one hand, the best players in junior A. But he played pretty much the entire game, both sides of the ball, and then like transitioned and got looks there, which I think that's the way the game's going.
Overall, like athletic people with also like the ability to make split decisions like that is very, very hard to come across.
You have to be more two-way.
Yeah, you can have that ability, but if you're not a freak athlete, if you're not like you don't have something else to give, then it doesn't really work out. So you kind of have to have like a bit of a full package nowadays. I'm with you, Reilly. I think it's transitioned to more of like a freak athlete's game.
Yeah.
And like it's tough when you're a kid. Like you have the ball every game, you're the guy every game. Then you go to the pros and it's like, okay, now how do I make an impact without having the ball?
Yeah, 100%.
It's like a crazy mindset to kind of transition to. And it's kind of like the same thing in college. Like it's a little harder. But when we get to the pros, it's like everyone can do what you can do. So how do you separate yourself? And that's like, as a new guy for me in Burno, like we're trying to figure it out. Like it's tough, but
you just have to be so well-rounded now.
Yes, and you gotta like adapt your game and like fit it into a role that the team actually needs. Like every team needs something different. On your position, you have to be able to bring that heat, bring that energy.
You still have role players, obviously, but you can't just be like one-dimensional.
Exactly.
Bernie, what's the toughest thing for you this year, like getting into the league?
I think for me, it's just like I think just your mental confidence for me. Like I don't know, I was kind of like what I said, like a later bloomer maybe, and I wasn't drafted and stuff like this, or kind of like highly doubted like Tanner or Reilly. So I always kind of, I don't know, I was always sometimes in my own head and stuff like that. But I think this year when I kind of started playing more regularly, I think just having that confidence and knowing that you like just live and die by your decisions, don't second guess, like just play like you know how to play. I think for me that was the biggest thing, just like feeling that I deserved to be there. Kind of.
Yeah. Did you have a chip on your shoulder coming in, or?
Yeah. I think I did, like not being drafted and stuff like that. You always want to kind of prove yourself in a way, but you also at some point you gotta be like, okay, relax. Like
Burno plays with an edge.
Yeah.
Burno plays with an edge.
I've seen the one clip.
I know you hate talking about it. We won't get into it. Don't worry. Burno's been in a few fights though. He's
I love that though, man. Like you gotta play with an edge.
Yeah. I will say the one thing I need to work on is having that trigger. Like I'm always competitive. I'm a very competitive guy, but I like to do it just naturally. Like let it come to me. Like that trigger is something I gotta find. Like where it's like
I think that's a big thing. Yeah, it's like I think like me, especially me and you, Tanner. Like I don't think we're gonna beat the shit out of anyone. I think if we like if someone grabbed me, it'd be pretty tough. But I think the one thing I respect about Burno is how he always stands up for his teammates, and I think that's huge, right? And that you just get a lot of respect a guy like that. But
thanks, Reilly.
I do think it is you got to play almost angry. I feel like and I don't know what it is, but we only play on weekends, right? We play once a week, so like. You can't, and it's four 15-minute quarters, right? And I often found myself like, shit, the game's at halftime. What the hell have I done this game? I've been passive. I've been on the perimeter. I haven't taken a shot on goal. Where it's like, go out there, run into someone, right? Some games, just start chirping a guy for no reason.
Just to get yourself
into the game, right? And I don't know. It's just finding way, again, like Burno said, like confidence is such a big thing. Right. And then just making sure you've got an impact. And oftentimes it is a lot like, sure, you got to produce goals and assists or loose balls or whatever, but there's a lot of other ways you can like make an impact on a game, I feel. Yeah.
I kind of think of it like a fuck it attitude where it's like at a certain point, like let's say it's halftime, you haven't taken a shot yet. You have to have that like, fuck it, I'm going to go do something.
You got to go look for it a little bit. Yeah. Like you're not pressing too much, but you got to have a little bit more of an aggressive mindset.
Do you ever find like games where you're not producing, you're like, okay, I have to get involved some other way. Let me go throw like a fucking hit here. Like for me in hockey, if I knew I wasn't on my A game offensively, I'd finish every single check or do something to get myself involved.
It's kind of like that too. Like especially like being a guy that doesn't have the ball as much as I used to as a kid. Like now you got to like blow somebody up. Like set a hard pick, set one good hard pick every shift, and see what happens. Kind of just like I said, get into the game a little bit more. Like and things it just sort of happens sometimes. Like you set a hard pick, then you're just open in the middle. Whereas if you're kind of just like kind of hanging out in there, it's kind of just like nothing really happens. And then it's halftime, you haven't done anything yet. So you kind of got to have that like trigger to go do something. Mental triggers are definitely big in all sports, I feel like. Sure. What was it like for you, your first year going out of Georgetown?
First year, I got drafted to Calgary. I don't know, like it's geez, long ago, but like it's almost like shit. Like I'm so happy to be here. Like I've made it. Like this is amazing. Where you're not comfortable because you're a rookie, but you're comfortable in the sense of like, oh, I got drafted. I'm on the team. Right, where it's like, I feel like now I've come to the realization, like, you've got to go and earn it. You got to show up and compete. Like, I felt like that year was just kind of like content being there. Yeah. Right. And it was like play with like Dane Dobie, Curtis Dixon. These are two of the greatest players of all time, two of the current best players in the league. And it's like, oh, I'm just deferring to them. Like, give them the ball, right? And kind of like watch where it's like, no, like, you're here for a reason. You got to contribute. So, Calgary, off the floor, organization wise, like first class, so many great things. Like, because they're actually owned by the Flames.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so Calgary's legit. Calgary was it wasn't the best travel, flying out there, time change, right? Road games, West Coast, all that stuff. But man, they treated us so right. Post game was incredible. Great little setup they got there. But that first year probably was like, just kind of like on the floor, kind of content, where it was like, got to go for it a little bit more. But I love my time in Calgary.
Then you got traded to New England.
Then I got traded to New England, and we're playing out of the casino. So that was something. Bernie, you played in the casino, right?
Yeah, that was my first game.
Do you mean an actual casino?
The Mohegan Sun Arena, which is in that casino, Mohegan Sun.
It's in this random city in Connecticut. So we'd fly to Logan Airport in Boston. So hour 15 flight. Yeah. Great, easy flight. But then we'd have to take an hour and a half shuttle from Boston to the middle of nowhere to this giant ass massive casino. Incredible. And it was sick because once we were at the casino for the weekend, we were there. Great restaurants. We had stayed in the hotels, really high end hotel. There was even times where, like, the night before games, we'd get tickets to a concert. Like, there were some good concerts.
That's pretty sad.
We'd have to remember, like, hey, boys, we're here for, like, a game.
This is a business trip.
It's a business trip.
What about post-game?
Post-game was incredible. So this is the funny thing. We were, and it's actually a very good thing. Yeah. We were considered employees of the casino, so we weren't allowed to gamble, which is actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
I think
that'd be dangerous.
I think there was the odd time it'd be like your buddy was there, your family was there, you'd slip them a 50 and be like, hey, put this on red for me. But we weren't allowed to do anything. But no, really cool kind of dynamic that was playing there, right? Playing in a freaking casino, but it was cool.
What do you think the best organization or best city would be to play for, like, all your opinions?
Well, Vegas just got a team this year. They're getting a team next year, so that'd be kind of interesting. How many flights do you think are going to be missing that team?
I bet you some guys are going to be sitting at, there's going to be some guys sitting at the table missing some games.
Oh my God.
Or losing their paycheck after the game. Or
Vegas would be too dangerous, man.
You're not going home with your per diem.
Per diem is gone. No. They're not going to a casino, right? They're playing in an arena?
I'm pretty sure they're playing at the MGM.
Oh my God.
Maybe that's where there's a big, that's where they do most of the big UFC fights.
Yeah.
Ground floor of the MGM.
That's
so we'll be
sick.
staying on the strip. And then the arena is just going to be built at the MGM. I think it seats like 10,000, which is perfect.
Right in
I
the
think
mix,
they're going to do really well.
Right in the middle.
I think it's going to be wild. I think Vegas, like, seeing how the Vegas crowd welcomed hockey, I think they'll fucking love lacrosse.
I think so too.
Vegas is cool because you get a lot of, like, just tourists that want to just go out for the night and watch.
Again, it's like any kind of entertainment.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it was like the casino where we play. It's mostly like, hey, like, take these tickets. They're like $5, $10 or free, but they just want you in the casino. On your way in, your way out, you're probably losing $100, $200 at a table. And so they don't care. They just want you in there. So I think it's great. Like, you talk about where would you want to play. I mean, I think everywhere's different. Like, Albany, I'll be honest, it might not be the easiest place to get to, but, like, I love playing there because of the boys. And now we've got a relationship. Not going to leave the guys that you play with. You form such a brotherhood and especially our captain has done a great job doing that. We might not have the most fans, but like we've got one of the best locker rooms in the game.
Yep.
Toronto, everyone wants, like, Toronto's your hometown, right? So everyone loves playing in Toronto.
Yeah.
And then Buffalo and Colorado, I would say, are probably the best fan
Colorado
bases.
would be pretty cool.
Like those places sell out and it's sick. Like going to Buffalo is legit. Like we played there in the playoffs. I don't know what there was, 13, 14,000.
Probably
good
rowdy
atmosphere.
too.
Oh yeah. They're knowledgeable.
They're owned by the Avalanche, right?
Yeah, they are. Well, that's Stan Kroenke. He owns everything. He owns the Nuggets. He owns the Avs. He owns the LA Rams. He owns like Arsenal.
So sick.
He's got a couple dollars.
What are the teams that have NHL
Holy
teams?
shit.
What are Philly, Calgary,
Colorado,
Vancouver. I think those are the best ones, right? Because like you can cross market, you can get a couple perks, the fan bases hope like. I think that's the way to do it. And obviously they got deep pockets, so they're not afraid to spend.
Is Buffalo owned
Yep.
by the,
Yep. Same guy owns the Bills and the Sabres.
Was it Biz? Was Biz Nasty doing he was working with the Vancouver team?
yeah, the Warriors.
Yeah. I remember him posting about
Those are
that.
good videos.
Yeah,
Like,
That's
Sounds
a
like a
good
lot of
guy
heat,
to
man.
endorse your team.
Yeah. That's probably, and now he's with Wayne Gretzky on what was he on again?
TNT.
TNT. So it's kind of cool, like how he just kind of like
I can't believe
stuck his
they're
toes in so
together.
many
You
different
have
things and
one of
worked his way up to
the
that.
worst hockey players ever. One of the best hockey players
chill
ever.
with Gretzky.
Yeah.
Smart guy though. I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
He's very good at marketing. He's honestly a genius. Like
Yeah, he is.
pretty cool.
Speaking about marketing, how do you guys see growing the game of lacrosse in general? Like, how would you do it?
What do you guys think?
Well, I think like with Vegas getting a team, that's obviously
huge.
good. They've been adding a few teams the last few years, so I think the expansion's been good. And I think this last year, a lot of the games were on TSN. I think one a week, so that's huge. I mean, I think it's hard for me to say, but I think if you can get like people watching lacrosse in bars, like if you get people betting on the games, like young people, I don't know if you make it more mainstream like that, but I don't know. I think it's the league's doing a good job getting it get more exposure lately. I don't know.
I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of media. That's what young kids want. They love YouTube vlogs. They love Instagram clips. And I think the league's doing a really good job of that. I think, like getting on TSN is huge for the game. Getting it on TV more, getting people at games. Once they come to games, they're usually pretty hooked. I do feel, maybe this isn't answering the question, but like I feel it's got to grow in the States, right? Like getting more Americans to play. A lot of them play box, none of them play field. So getting that, like the league is tapped on Canadian players. All the best Canadians play.
Yeah.
So if you're going to grow teams, I think we need Americans to fill the rosters out. And hopefully that's going to, grow the game with the youth in the States. And that's, I think, the way the game's kind of got to go is get more Americans involved.
Mm-hmm. If you were to guess, by what year would there be 30 NLL teams?
So what are we at, 16 now? I mean, if they want to, they can, add a team, one team every year for the next 14 years, right? Just get the right ownership, guys who have deep pockets that are willing to, invest. It's just, what's the right way? I don't know if 30 is the best, right? So like, is that smart to go to 30? It'd be so, I think, watered down.
Yeah.
So 16's good, right? Maybe like do a couple of years, see how this is going, and then, right, maybe in a decade, jump to 24. Yeah. I don't know, but I don't think going to 30. I think 30 would be too much too quick.
Yeah, it makes sense because like hockey has, Europe. They have every other country in Europe. They got Canada, USA, so many other different countries. Lacrosse is kind of just Canada, America. Yeah. In a way,
I think the Vegas edition will be huge.
Yeah, especially with like their owners. Who are they again? Dustin Johnson, Wayne Gretzky, Joe
Tsai's the money guy, but then it's got big names like Dustin Johnson,
Steve Nash.
Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So it's pretty legit.
Hopefully that just kicks off.
Yeah,
like, a whole
that's
bunch of
nasty.
stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was saying if I ever went there, I would ask. My contract would be just to golf with Dustin Johnson.
Yeah.
Give me 2 rounds with them and then just give me like $100 a game.
Yeah.
That'd be the best contract ever. What's it like, guys, having to do 2 jobs? Like one lacrosse, obviously, and then the other one, whatever you guys do. Riley, you're a coach. Bruno, want to be teacher, right?
Yeah, well, I was, these past 2 years, I was just finishing up school to be a teacher. So I haven't fully had the grind of really kind of working Monday to Friday. And then and then going off and playing. But with school, it was all online, so I could kind of make it work pretty easily. But I mean, it's definitely a bit of a grind. But I think if you just, it's like anything. If you're just upfront with people, and I don't know, Riley, you might be able to speak.
Yeah, I just think that it's not easy. That's for sure. You got to have a job that's flexible, right? Because we're traveling on a lot of Fridays, right? And that's missed time. Like you said, you got to be able to communicate about that and plan about that. But I think a lot of us are in industries where you can be flexible, which is nice.
Yep.
Right. I do think the goal for all of us would be to be full-time lacrosse players and not have to worry about that for the time being. We need to have, we need to make a little extra income. That's the truth. But also we need to have purpose, because if you're sitting on your ass on the couch Monday to Friday doing nothing, it's kind of like, that's not really a great life, right? Like Saturdays are amazing, but what are you doing with the rest of your life, right? So I think, and a job where you've got purpose, right? You've got, feel good about your work you're doing, but also you do need to be working out probably 3, 4, 5 days a week. You need to be shooting on your own. You need to watch film. You've got team calls, team chats, right? So it is really hard to like manage your time and balance things. That's for sure. But that's what it takes, I think, to be a professional athlete. But
that's the thing. I didn't even think about that until you just said it. You have to hold yourself accountable, because if you're playing a sport like all year round, or however many times you're practicing with your team, like 4 or 5 times a week, you guys are on your own.
Same facility, right? They get NHL players have their own facility.
Well,
they have
their
gym,
job
they work
is
together,
to
they
practice
at the same time.
Like,
exactly, yeah.
So you talk to Evie in the off season, and it's like, what do you do? And he's like, I work out, and then the rest of my day is free. But you guys, you have your jobs Monday to Friday, and then you have to go work out. Like, I know we've talked about it. It's a grind. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you definitely got to be accountable.
Yeah.
Like, if you show up and you haven't done anything all week,
you'll stick
you
out.
can feel it. Like,
you can tell.
Yeah.
And
nowhere to hide out there.
No.
You'll be exposed pretty quick.
Yeah. So I think you got to have a lot of discipline, but you do it because like I think everyone loves doing it too. Kind of love the grind. You hate it at points, but you also love it. You know what I mean? So
it's a mental trigger, right?
Yeah.
You got to be able to say fuck it and go for it.
Yeah. So
what's your favorite part about it, Bernie?
Oh, well, Riley kind of talked about
The
it
boy.
too, but probably just our room is just like there's the guys are like hilarious. It's literally a comedy. It's a comedy show.
We gotta it's like any team, right? We gotta cast the characters. Everyone's so different, so unique, so funny. Like we can go on and list guys on and on, but we do, and it's all led by like our captain, like our leader. I think is amazing. Like we do kangaroo court. We do a lot of team dinners, right? We make sure a lot of guys are going out together after games, right? It doesn't mean you need to get crazy drunk, but you're a part of the team. You're coming out, right? You're having one, right? A lot of us are forced to spend a lot of time together because we bus. We bus from Toronto to Albany every week, which is kind of absurd, but it's fun. It's fun, but just being a part of a team is incredible. And then we've really like became close with each other, which is really fun.
Riley, what's your favorite kangaroo court thing that you've seen?
What's kangaroo court?
It's basically like if you do something stupid, like let's say, you have a funny one with the mask.
With what?
With your mask under your cage.
Oh, okay. So so basically, if you do something stupid or you say something stupid, you can get fined, right?
Okay, yeah,
so it's like you definitely know, but it's like I don't know, if you like leave your jersey on the ground or something, you can get fined for that. So then like Tanner's laughing and put me on the spot here and steward me. But funny. One time we had all our masks on and everything, and I had my mask on. I put my bucket on over top and went on for practice with my mask on underneath. So that's something I got fined for.
Byrne, you look like a goof, buddy.
Yeah.
We're dinging you $5.
Yeah. So I got dinged for that. But if you don't agree with it, you can take it to court.
And Riley, you are the commissioner, or are you the treasurer?
No, so I'm just there. But Joe Rezateris, 100-point guy, one of the guys up for league MVP, our best player. He's our commissioner. He
gets to decide.
He's the commissioner. He runs the show in there. He's again, speaking of characters, he's a big one. So just his delivery with things and how he's he's pretty aggressive. And then, but if you also come at him, because you can go at him, he's very defensive. So sometimes just go at him for the sake of like the smallest thing, and he'll get all defensive and worked up. And
you're getting 3 back.
It's pretty funny, but yeah, like little things, right? You're a minute late for a bus. You're right. Maybe there's an incident post game. You're I don't know.
You got chapped lips or something.
Yeah, it's just the smallest of things, but like that's what being in a locker room is about. So kangaroo court is a fun thing.
Creating those fun experiences, right?
Yeah. Do you guys have one guy on the team who's like the funniest guy, or is it just everyone?
Dude, everyone has like their own different personalities, and they're all like, after like a couple of weeks, you kind of get comfortable. And you kind of just come out of your shell a little bit, especially as a new guy. You kind of just start talking to more people. You get more friendly with people, and then as a young guy, you kind of watch the older guys talk to each other, and they're more like, they're obviously already comfortable, so they have those conversations where you're just dying of laughter watching them laugh. And then eventually you get into the conversations, and it's just like so much like cool. It's so cool to have that experience.
Yeah. A lot of guys, they don't take themselves too seriously, so it's good. Like
keep it light, man.
They make fun of themselves, and then everyone makes fun of them. It does,
it makes things so much more enjoyable when you have a good locker room.
Right? Do you need to be calm before a game, or do you need to hype yourself up?
I don't know. I always like play around with that. Like, what's optimal for me? Everyone's different, right? Like, I do find probably to be at my best, I need to be a little pissed off, a little angry. But I oftentimes remind myself, then sometimes I'm gripping it too tight, and then you got to remind yourself, like, shit, like, this is fun. We love lacrosse. Like, we're playing a game that, you know, we love. We play for free. Like, we're getting paid to play lacrosse. That's pretty incredible. So it's sometimes, I don't know, I go back and forth at different times, and like, what's the vibe, right? And like, oh, maybe we've lost 2 in a row, and guys are just really negative. It's like, no, let's like take a little, make a little light of it this week, right? Have fun, right? But again, it's your job. It's a professional sport. So when the lights come on, it's game time. You just got to show up and compete and be ready to go. So whatever, everyone's different, right? So got to be ready to go.
Do you have any superstitions, all 3 of you?
You got any?
Not really. I just kind of have the same routine. Nothing like crazy.
I don't think it's superstition. It's just routine. Like, personally, I like going to the rink before the bus, right? So getting an Uber, or like having a black coffee, right? Like, you know, eating kind of similar things, right? Like, it's nothing crazy in terms of the way I take my stick or that, but I think it's just a strong routine, I would say.
Yeah.
I would always put my left stuff on first.
Really?
I do that.
Left shin pad, left sock, left skate.
Sorry, so I guess I am.
Yeah.
So I do
I would
that.
always, even to this day when I play beer leagues, left goes on always first.
Yeah, I do that too,
weird.
but I don't even really think about it. But I always put my left stuff on first.
I have one too. Before every game, like in like we huddle at the net before the game. I do laps around the goal. I do laps around everybody.
Oh, nice.
Do 2 laps, and I sit on the back of the net. That's the only thing I do. But kind of like
it's like Bernie's gonna watch this now. Tanner's just gonna be running around.
We're gonna get in his way.
Get in his
trap. Yeah.
I'm getting fined in court.
He's gonna start freaking out.
We're gonna form a wall.
I'm getting fined in court. We're doing that. Yeah. Pretty funny.
Was there one fine this year, like a huge one, or?
So we have maxes. What's the max? 10, 20?
Oh geez, 10 or 20. Yeah, it's nothing crazy. We so cue ball. He's I don't know how to describe him. He's a very confident guy. He's an amazing player, a great friend, great teammate. But we're not afraid to fine him. He accumulated like hundreds of dollars in fines, which is because it's $2 fines, $3 fines. But he accumulates like hundreds of dollars, right? And guys kind of go after him for no, like he'll wear a toque to the bar, so we'll fine him $5 for wearing a toque to the bar. And he's like, I'm gonna keep wearing it. But like, he's a guy that we constantly, every kangaroo court, he's getting $5, $10, $15, $20 fines.
Cue ball. He's supposed to be on today. Actually, he's golfing in Buffalo. So shout out.
Well, we're gonna fine him for that.
Yeah.
In the podcast,
so we'll get hammered for that.
He lives the pro life. He golfs and he works out, and he's not afraid to lay on a beach either. So we'll fine him for that.
Yes, we take all the money.
I came to the one game. He had like 4 or 5 rips.
Oh, he's nasty.
Against
his shot. I don't understand like what he does differently than everybody else, but just like maybe it's the release point or something. It's just
pure.
Like
just like his golf game. He's pure.
Smooth,
He's a pure guy. Eh?
Yeah.
Smooth sailing.
He's cash.
Yeah. Who's the cash man again? Is that?
That's Resi.
That's
Resi's the ultimate cash man.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of guys who are cash. You're cash.
Thanks, bro. You too.
You guys are
What do you mean by cash?
Cash.
Just cash. You don't,
Just
you don't
nasty?
Yeah.
That's so funny, man.
It's a tough life, man. Well, what do you guys think about like, you know, it's tough to do a professional sport, right? It's hard to live this lifestyle. Do you think that like the longevity of lacrosse players is going up or going down?
I think guys are like caring more. You know,
Yep.
guys are like actually watching what they eat, like want to work out 3-4 days a week. They're like recovering, trying to recover. Whereas in the old days, you'd go to game, like I go to Brooklyn Redmond games, right, in the early 2000s, and you know these arenas are crazy hot. You go outside just to get some fresh air. You look down, the other teams sitting having darts at the second intermission. You're like, what's going on here, right? And just old school warriors, right? That just showed up and played. But now there's so much information and science behind working out, eating right, sleeping right, recovery. So I think that's going to help with longevity in terms of guys just playing longer. And also, you know, the game is getting better in terms of, you know, some guys are starting to make a little bit more of a living on it. So it's like, hey, I can go all in on this and like make a good living for my family. And I want to commit that, because it is, like we talked about, a huge commitment and sacrifice of time. I want to do this. So I think longevity is a big thing.
Yeah. What's it like having, like, you guys both have girlfriends. What's it like having a girl that like supports what you do and like lets you go on the weekends, that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, sometimes it's tough. Like you're away every weekend pretty much, but I think my girlfriend's very supportive and she knows that we love it. And she honestly, she's funny. She comes to a lot of games and she gets into it pretty good. Yeah. So it's pretty funny. She'll be chirping the crowd. I remember in Buffalo, I said, just don't say anything. Please, just sit down and be quiet. And she was giving it to Bandits fans, so it's good. Yeah, she loves it.
1 on 20,000.
Yeah, exactly. So not the smartest thing, but
yeah.
Does she get nervous when you scrap?
She doesn't like that.
Yeah,
but
got a pretty face. Can't be getting
Yeah.
It's pretty funny too. Like, let's say let's say you're a teacher and you get in a fight and you get a black eye. You gotta explain to all the kids.
I didn't
like,
even think of that. What happens
my
when you
brother
show up to
Hudson,
class?
he works at the restaurant with me. He's always a server, and he had just like the biggest gash on his neck. Like, looked like a hickey, like a fat hickey.
Yeah.
So every table he went to, they would be like, "Are you serious? Like, you're gonna walk with a mullet and a hickey? Like, that's what you're going with?" So yeah, it's kind of a weird balance, right? Like having to explain that. Like,
I don't know if
your brother just looks like a rock
he
star.
looks like a rock star. He's serving wine. Looks like a rock star.
I don't know if the mullet will fly as a teacher.
No.
What age is that? What age does that stop at when you stop doing like the mohawks and stuff? Is that just midget? Up to midget? Junior, I guess.
Like
but
blonde hair and the mohawks.
Yeah, we might need to get the blonde hair going
Yeah,
in the playoffs, boys. Well, I think the playoff beard
Firewolves?
is still a thing. Yeah, we get the
yeah.
get the mustache going. Well, you can't shave in the playoffs, obviously. Playoff
Who's got the
beard.
best beard in the Firewolves? Best playoff beard.
Oh, Resi.
Resi's got
Resi?
a greasy one. That greasy.
Yeah, it is a little.
Hey, what's your playoff beard look like?
Couple cat hairs.
Yeah,
Couple cat hairs.
whiskers and here and there. But
You got more
I
on
can
your
get
chest.
it going.
Yeah?
The greasy. I just get the greasy mustache and but not much else.
Riley, you can go a decent one.
I can go decent, but I got multiple colors coming in. I got a touch of red.
You got Viking in ya, eh? You got
I got a touch of gray. I got everything going on, so
The cash man.
yeah.
You just get the neared going. You
I
get
get under
the
here.
goatee mustache combo.
I might go handlebars maybe next
Oh
playoffs.
my god.
I want to make the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be the greasiest handlebars.
We probably get just ripped apart by the league, right? If we did that, like haircuts and shit. We would
Yeah,
just get
probably.
destroyed.
But hey, anything for the team.
If you
As
guys
Ethan Woods
are
would say.
if you guys are winning, fuck them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you have any questions about lacrosse? Like, what's like one thing that like a non-lacrosse player would notice? Like, I talked to Jake about what he thinks about it, and he said he couldn't really follow the ball on TV, and like if he couldn't follow it like a professional athlete, like
I don't
they
know.
don't
I
have to
didn't
think like who else can't follow it, you know? So that's like my thing in terms of like people watching it. How can like we do a better job of explaining what's going on? Is that just you have to just watch to know, or
I think he's just an
think?
idiot. I had,
I think he's blind as a bat.
yeah.
he was watching on TV
How does
though?
this guy play a sport? I had no issues watching it on TV.
Really?
Like I as I said to you, I thought it was an entertaining game. Like we watched the one game at yours, the Rock versus was it Rochester?
Yeah, someone.
It was sick. And then at the end of the game, there was a bunch of scraps. Like, I don't know. For me, it's just, I don't know what my question would be. I think the biggest question I have is why it's not more popular. And you guys answered that.
Yeah, I think it's also newer, right? Like, it's just evolved a lot less than hockey and basketball have in a way, even though it's like an older sport. You know what I mean?
It takes time. I don't know. It takes time, but it's like it stumps you. It's like, what does it need to do? Because I don't know. It's doing a lot of the right things. I think it's like a process, though, right? Just takes time.
You guys both coach, young kids, probably a little older. But where do you see like it going in terms of like, are there more kids getting involved now, or less kids, or what are the stats behind that? Do you guys know?
I don't really know.
I remember COVID was terrible.
COVID hurt the sport a lot. I know that. The numbers were down. The numbers were down a bit.
But like you were there too. Like we're at the Ontario Lacrosse Festival in Whitby there over the last 2 weeks, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it was rocking.
It's
amazing. It was awesome.
So the kids that are playing are really skilled, and like I coach 13-year-olds, and it's like, geez, these kids are skilled. They're smart. They're tough. This is great lacrosse. Like the future of lacrosse is in good hands. So, and it's great. Like, I think that's what is critical is a lot of good lacrosse minds are giving back to like coach the game and help the next wave. So that's one cool thing about lacrosse is a lot of guys are giving back and involved in the sport, and that's what it needs, right? To get to the next level.
Yeah. The team I coached this year, we were pretty raw. That's how I like to put it. We had about, I think every guy but two it was their first year playing lacrosse. So we struggled. We didn't have a very good record, but all the kids are playing again next year. So that's kind of what matters. That's a little. That felt good after when the kids said they wanted to play again, despite we didn't even win a game. We tied 2 games. So
must have been the coach, huh?
Yeah, I know.
You gotta change your strategies there, Brady.
What a leader! Yeah.
I'm losing it on the bench.
Well, it is different. Like they can't necessarily do the things that you want them to do that you can see. So how do you manage your expectations for kids?
Yeah, it's tough. I think you just try to make everything like a learning experience.
Have fun with it.
I know, you can yell and scream all you want, but then you just end up looking like a donkey, and the kids don't end up you want them to care, and you try to make it positive, especially when you have such a tough run of games. But as long as the kids were having fun, they work so hard. So I always told them I can't fault you for that. If you come here and compete and work your hardest, I'll never be just listen and work hard, and that's all you can ask for, right?
You go for it.
I'll
go. It's pretty funny. I want to coach as well, Riley. We've talked about it a lot. I just find myself getting so mad at the refs for I don't think I could do it at a high level necessarily right now in my current mindset. I just lose my mind on the refs so easily, and I got to figure it out. I know it's my problem. But I just can't handle it. How do you guys handle the reffing decisions?
It's hard. There's so many things. Coaching's amazing, but it's I don't know. I've never felt like I did a lot of coaching this summer, and it's I feel as a player I care a lot, but I've never felt the way I have this summer, how invested you are as a coach, and it's probably harder because you can't physically control things. You can't pick up the ball and set a hard pick or get to the middle and bury the ball, right? You've got to try to instill your information or knowledge into the kids and ask them to do it to the best of their abilities. So, and the ref's another situation. I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth because these people are doing a job. They're trying their best, but I don't know, get very frustrated with them at times, but I don't know. It's just kind of keeping a cool head and seeing the bigger picture, I feel but
this is your first year on junior A bench, right?
Yeah.
How's that experience been? I know you guys are doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's been great.
Rolling.
It's been great. I don't know, for me it's all about the group, the environment. So got a really good group of kids and a great group of coaches and staff that just love showing up to the rink and know they're all in and know they're doing the right things and know they care. So it's fun and it's easy.
Yep. What's it like going up against your dad?
It's pretty cool. It's
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really surreal because like he's my biggest role model in my life, and it's kind of like a little emotional because we are at like the pinnacle of the sport, and I'll be honest, like I grew up playing for Whitby, and obviously with him there, like I was cheering for them to get there. Like obviously I want to win more than anything, but that's the guy, you know, I want to go up against. So it's really neat just to be there and competing against him, and he's taught me so much, so it's really cool that way.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then, Byrne, your dad was a teacher at St. Mike's where we all went.
Beauty.
Did he teach you?
Beauty, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Byrne was a beauty.
Yeah.
He was my
Absolute legend at St.
grade
Mike's.
8 math teacher,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure was he a hockey coach?
Yeah, in grade 7 and 8.
Yeah, he was my hockey coach there too.
Yeah.
Beauty.
So obviously you played hockey and you want to be a teacher, so it's like having him as like a role model.
Oh, good.
Showing you the ropes.
It's good. Yeah, kind of like what Riley said. Like he's my role model as well, and just seeing, you know, he's like, just everything he's done and how much he's loved teaching and stuff like that. So it's always been kind of. I look at him. He's a pretty happy guy. Like his lifestyle is always. Seems like a very happy guy. Happy with his profession, but he also works really hard, and he was a hockey player too. So I've always kind of picked his brain on not just being a teacher, but like sometimes when I'm fighting it in lacrosse, like he wasn't a lacrosse player, but he's been through a lot of that with hockey. And so I talked to him about pretty much everything. And yeah, he's my biggest role model as well. So
That's awesome, yeah.
What's his biggest advice going into teaching?
I don't
Try
know.
not to kill the kids.
Well, what's it like? Like you substituted at St. Mike's, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I
what's it like going full circle? Because when you were a kid, you'd probably just rip apart the substitute teachers. No.
It's weird. I don't know.
Are you a Mr. Ford type
Burno
son?
commands respect. He walks into the room and he commands respect.
I
I saw a picture of him coaching a JV lacrosse game with a suit on.
Oh yeah.
That's
You do it right.
That's a winner.
You're a pro, man.
Are you a suit teacher or sweats kind of? Do you walk
Well,
in?
if I got the phys ed or gym, I'll put on the sweats. But normally I rock the suit.
What do you want to
Look
teach?
good,
Jim?
feel good.
Well, phys ed or I mean anything like from kind of like grade 7 to 10 or something like that. But geography, math, science, phys ed.
Smart guy, eh?
I can do it all, boys. I'm kidding.
Riley, what do you want to do next? I know you're trying to figure out what you want to do and stuff like that. So what's your kind of path? Or your
I'm not
mindset?
sure. I'm trying to figure that out. I need to kind of concentrate. But I mean, I love lacrosse. I love kind of mentoring youth, and I've had a lot of people like give to me, so I want to kind of give back and help them, whether that's trying to reach their goals of playing pro or whatever that looks like, or getting to the NCAA. So something in that kind of field.
Yep.
But we'll see. Maybe, who knows, maybe a full-time lacrosse. My ultimate end goal is as soon as I'm done, I want to play as long as I can.
Yep.
But as soon as I'm done playing, I want to like coach and GM in the league. So
Yep.
That'd be pretty sick.
yeah, that's kind of the end goal, but that's still hopefully ways away.
Do you think coaching is kind of like playing, where you need to do it for a lot of years to get the experience to know how to handle situations, or do you think if you're just a smart lacrosse player, you can kind of just do it?
I think it depends. I think experience only helps you in life, but I think if you're good at something, if you're a strong leader, you got knowledge, the key is always surrounding yourself with the right people, right? Like people that make you look good, people that'll help you. But
do you respond better to like player coaches or more like screamers to get you into the mode?
I think player coaches, I think, can take it from a coach, right? If they're going to be open and honest, and if you respect them and they love you and you got a great relationship and it's from a good place,
Yep.
I'll take anything. But if I don't maybe respect you as much or think it's a little fake, that's going to irk me a little bit and bother me. Probably won't get the best response, but I think everyone loves a player's coach, right? Someone who just cares for them.
Yep. Same with you, Bruno?
Yeah, I'd say I'm similar. Like even I remember in like minor midget and stuff, we would have kind of coaches that were not like, I don't want to use the word crazy, but like very animated and hardos, but like they cared so much. So they would come in and they'd rip everyone, but like it didn't matter, like cause you're so close to them. Like they would just you knew that when it came down to it, this guy would literally do anything for you. And so that was always my favorite. Like, guy who was straight up with you, but you knew at the end of the day how much he cared. And,
just no bullshit. Like, even for me now, because I haven't played hockey in a while, but you take a lot of the lessons you learn from sports and apply it to life. And I told my manager, like, coming into my new job, I was like, I'd rather you be, like, honest with me and, like, constructive criticism. And I find coming from a sports background, that's like not a lot of people can handle that brutal truth. Like, if I said it to my coach going into our draft year, I was like, if I'm a shit skater or I need to work on this, I'd rather you tell me that so I can actually work in the off season and do those kinds of things. And just having a coach who would sit down and be like, hey, like I remember one of my hockey coaches being like, you're not going to get to the next level unless you can do this thing. Yeah, I was like, holy fuck. Like,
you can relate to it more. Yeah. The honesty is what gets you to respect them.
Yeah, and I had so much respect for him that off season. That's what I worked on.
Well, you know, obviously my coach at Marquette was Ampel, right? He was a very, very military kind of style guy, like very by the book, very strict, very, very on it. And I did respond well to that. I think in some points I did kind of like deflect and like wouldn't agree with what he was saying, so I would get like a little salty kind of thing. Yeah. But also in terms of like the respect part, I do understand that he did care a lot about us. And then going to like Coach Clark, we're more of a players coach. Yeah. It's kind of like cool to see the difference in like the extremes.
Yeah, there's a lot of different styles, right? And it's proven that different ways can work. You got to be you though. You got to be comfortable in your own skin. And I do think like what you're saying about just you need truth tellers, right? You need people that'll hit you right between the eyes if you need that honest wake up, right? And I think that's really important too, because that's not easy to do. That's really hard to do, right? Because it's like I'm gonna go out of the limb here, and you know you might not like me, but I'm gonna tell you the truth, and you know, so
you don't know how the kid will respond.
Yeah.
How were your coaches in college? Were they player coaches or more yellers? I know your coach was more like Ampel's good friend, right? So they had some good
Well, first year we had like this old legend, and his big thing was like old school, right? If seen older, you know, upperclassmen are going to play. So I didn't play my first year, just kind of sat there and great experience and took it in, but more very laid back, casual, right? Captains, you run the team pretty much kind of thing. And that works, right? If you got the right leaders in place and you empower them, but they moved on from him and then brought in this new regime. And I feel like when coaches come in, it's like they got to shift the culture. They got to do all the, you know, get the old guys out, get their guys in, you know, be a little hardo, intense to set the tone for what they want, which I get. So I think like 8 guys like quit the team, and it was like and it was a rough year. It was like a rebuilding year, you could say. Yep. But again, I think like coaches are lying if they say they don't have favorites, right? Yep. I do think my coach liked me. He played me, right? And I think everyone likes a coach that rides them and plays them a lot, right? Yeah, so like he loved me and he played me a lot, so I liked him. He was good to me, that's for sure. So yeah.
There's that one line, who's your favorite coach? The guy who played me the most.
It's a great line.
Yeah.
It's true though.
It's true. Yeah, you gotta have that like someone to tell you you can do this right now. Go for it. Yeah. You know? How about you? What was your college career?
Yeah, my coach at Western was good. He like the Kufla is a little less like it's intense when it comes down to it, and you need the buy-in from all the guys for sure. But it's not like it's a little more relaxed than D1 for sure.
I'm coaching UFC, so I'm trying to like learn from you guys like coaching wise.
So like our coach kind of like he was great. Like Jer, I loved playing for him, and he was relaxed and he was funny, and he had a great kind of culture. But like when it came down to it, he was like, if we pushed the envelope, he'd reel us in, you know. He'd be like, "What's going on, boys? Like this is like remember why we're here," and he would dial us back in. But the same thing, like even when you know, like when I hurt myself, like I think I hurt my shoulder playing senior B, like I don't even know how he knew, but he texted me in the middle of the summer. Like he remember I was playing in the minors, the ALL, and he was like, "Oh, do you need a car?" Like this guy just really he cared so much. So I always respected that and respected him because you know he really did check up on everyone and like care and ask how people were doing and stuff like that, and it went a long way.
It's the little things, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And
I'm going to use that one.
Yeah, like people literally bought in because he cared, you know.
Mm-hmm. We're going to wrap it up, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to give us a good times ahead that you're looking forward to in the next future, the near future?
Could be lacrosse, could be life, anything.
Good times ahead, I think, with the Albany Firewolves. I'm fired up to get back going with the boys. You know, get playing the game again.
Right.
We'll have to get you guys out to a game, and I think it's going to be a big year.
Yep.
I'll be there at Hamilton
Yeah.
and Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off what Riley said. Just hopefully the Wolves, we come back here and have a pretty good season here.
Yeah,
I think we got a lot to look forward to with that. So,
What about you, Tanner?
I'm looking forward to. I just moved out of my house, so I'm looking forward to the freedom of my new place.
oh, nice,
That
nice,
for
yeah.
sure. I'm looking
Free
forward
man.
looking forward to the end of the golf season, and then obviously I'm looking forward to playing with you guys as well. So
Nice. Well, thanks for having us, guys. That
No
was
worries,
fun.
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for coming on, boys.
And-
I'm looking forward to Friday with you boys.
oh yeah, Jay's game.
Oh, yeah.
Jay's game.
Hey,
Let's go.
team bonding. Here we
Yeah,
go.
bonding.
That's what it
Honorary
takes to win.
Firewolves member, honorary guy.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks for coming on, boys. That was awesome.
Yep.
Appreciate
Like
it.
always, it'll be good times ahead.